What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to discuss gas prices and how they are falling, which is good news, and I want to explain what's going on there and why we're actually seeing this. We're also going to discuss Social Security and how the Senior Citizens League is predicting that Social Security recipients could receive an additional $1,900 next year. So I want to address what's going on there. We're also going to dive into back to school shopping, because this is causing a lot of parents much heartache, because there's some times, right, especially right now, when inflation overall is really taking its hold on our bank accounts and our budgets, and it's causing a lot of people to not be able to spend money to buy back to school supplies. And again, this is a major concern, but we will address this in today's video. All I ask is if you can just spend 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button, and let's continue. Now, good news is, well, for one, we finally have some good news. Number one, inflation is coming down. We saw this yesterday. Number two, gas prices have dropped. We now know the national average for a gallon of gas has dropped below $4 for the first time since March. That is really good news. We're now sitting at $3.99. Now, this means we have come off a huge drop, because on June 13th, I believe, is June 13th or June 14th, we saw gas prices go over $5. Nationally, they were $5.01. This is insane that over the past pretty much 2 months, because it's August 11th, so in the past 2 months, we've dropped our national average of gas, or gallon of gas, by $1. That's big. Now, one of the questions I get all the time is, why is gas dropping? Why are the prices of gas dropping recently? What is the reason for this? Well, it's actually a mix of multiple different factors. And these are not in any order of most important to least important. It's just these are some of the things that have happened. First, the U.S. has released millions of barrels of oil from our Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That's good news. It has helped. Now, it also means we got less in the reserve, but it has helped gas prices for now. Some worry that this is only a temporary fix, that come, really the end of October, early November, we're going to start to see gas prices tick back up. If this is the case, it could happen. And this is, again, one of the theories is Democrats are just trying to lower the price of gas temporarily so that when voters go to vote, they're not worried about gas prices. Now, again, is that the real reason why? I don't know, right? But it is one of the theories out there. We also know consumers have been worried about falling into a recession, right? The U.S. economy dipping into a recession. Even though technically we are in a recession right now, what many people are worried about is if we go into a deep recession and we see businesses just laying off employees. If this is the case, this is one of the reasons why we are seeing gas prices fall, because people aren't driving as much. They've cut out travel entirely. They're not going on these big vacations, right? We're not seeing that. So the demand for gasoline has dropped as well. And then obviously we're seeing a decline because it's the end of summer. We see this every single year. Demand kind of subsides for travel. People are getting back into their normal everyday routine. And just because of that, gas prices drop. So those are kind of some of the reasons why we are seeing prices drop a little bit, especially over the past really week or two. But again, if you have questions on any of that stuff, please ask your questions down in the comment section below, and also let me know. Are you part of this where you are not traveling as much over the last couple weeks, or you're not planning on traveling much over the next 3 weeks of August? I'm just curious, because I know a lot of people do not travel in August at all. They've done all their traveling, they've done all their vacations, and they're just back to normal. So let me know if that's you as well. Now, let's talk about kids going back to school, and then we will finish off the video and talking about Social Security. But here's something that I thought was interesting. In a recent Bankrate.com survey, about 1/3 of the respondents stated that back to school shopping is going to negatively impact their budget. We know 37% of parents said they won't be able to afford any back to school shopping as a result of overall inflation. So 37%, more than a third of people, cannot afford to do any back to school shopping whatsoever because inflation is impacting them. Yeah, this is what we're seeing. We also learned that roughly 50% of parents said that they will be placing all of their back to school shopping on credit cards, that they cannot afford it, but their kids need it and they will buy it, but it's going to go on a credit card. So, and again, I've told you guys this over the past year, is I understand the idea behind using a credit card, especially in times like this when times are tough. But again, if you cannot pay that off and you continue to have this balance, it's going to cost more in the end. And for many people, they are not able to pay it off very quickly. So again, it costs more for a long time. Now here's something that I thought was very interesting about back to school shopping specifically this year, is that many stores are already selling out of their sale items. And I say this because somebody brought this up, a friend of mine brought this up, how him and his wife only buy items if they're on sale. Well, I went to go look to see if other people do the exact same thing. That's exactly what happened. I went to a Target recently. All their less expensive items are sold out. So what were parents doing with their children? They were showing them all the different items and then they go directly to the least expensive one. Not the one that the kids picked out, the least expensive item, and they just kind of work up from there. That's what they're doing. These are on things like crayons and backpacks and glue sticks and binders and pencils and pens, everything, right? That's what they're doing. So obviously the more expensive items are still sitting there. But again, I'm curious if you do this, and how many of you only buy items that are on sale, or how many of you are only going to do that from now on? And again, I ask this because a friend of mine and his wife, they have been doing this and shopping this way for the past year. Is if something is not on sale, no matter what, they will not buy it. It has to be on sale. And it doesn't matter if it's 50% off or 2% off. It has to be on sale in some way or they will not buy it. I just thought this was very interesting and was just curious if many people do this as well. Now, let's talk about Social Security for a second. And I'm going to touch more on Social Security probably maybe this weekend, later on this next week as well. I will have a couple videos specifically addressing Social Security because I know a lot of people are wondering what's going on. Well, according to the recent CPIW, okay, this is the inflation report for urban workers. Well, what I can tell you is that Social Security, this is how Social Security is calculated. And the CPIW report, this actually rose by 9.1% last month. And this is why the Senior Citizens League, which is a bipartisan league, they stated that Social Security and the cost of living adjustment for 2023 could rise about 9.6%. Well, if this happens, this will be the largest increase in the past 40 years. Now, here's what I can tell you. If we see 9.6%, this would give average Social Security recipients an increase of $1,900 per year. This actually comes out to about $158, $159 per month. So again, a big jump. Now, the Senior Citizens League, they predict that the cost of living adjustment will be as high as 11.2%. This is only if inflation continues to rise over the next 2 months. Again, it's July, August, September. Those are the only 3 months that matter for the cost of living adjustment. The Senior Citizens League also says that we could see the cost of living adjustment fall to 9.3%. So there's a range between 9.3 and 11.2. It's currently at 9.6%. But we could see inflation or the cost of living adjustment fall if we continue to see inflation drop as well. So either way, the expectation is that seniors are going to get a pretty substantial cost of living adjustment for 2023. It's going to be at least over, in my opinion, it's going to be over at least $130 per month. So again, that's a major boost to millions and millions of Americans, but I just wanted to fill you in on what's going on there because, again, I know a lot of people are asking, hey, inflation dropped. Does this mean our cost of living adjustment is going to come down as well? The answer is yes, it will, but probably not as big as many people are expecting. So that's the good news there. As I get more information on what's going on, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.